The arrest made in relation to the killing of Tupac Shakur had its roots in the investigation into the death of Biggie Smalls. Prosecutors have accused Dwayne "Keffe D. Davis of murder, alleging that he was the mastermind behind the killing and gave the order for it to be carried out. Davis was subsequently arrested and charged with the crime. The initial apprehension in relation to the murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996 was linked to the inquiry into the homicide of Biggie Smalls. The deaths of two iconic figures in hip-hop, who were also rivals, are inextricably linked in popular culture. Tupac Shakur was fatally shot in Las Vegas, while 6 months later, Christopher Wallace, better known as the Notorious Big, met a similar fate in Los Angeles. One individual, Dwayne "Keffe D. Davis, had connections to both investigations. On the day of Friday, Davis was taken into custody and formally accused of murder. The prosecution alleges that he was responsible for the plotting and execution of the killing of Shakur. Former LAPD detective Greg Kading, who was tasked with investigating the murder of Christopher Wallace, known professionally as Smalls, interviewed a person of interest in 2009 by the name of Davis. Davis was present at a party held at the Peterson Automotive Museum that Wallace had just departed from when the shooting occurred. In an effort to force Davis to cooperate with the Los Angeles police, Kading assisted in the creation of a drug-related case against him at the federal level. The Wallace case, which the police have yet to make any arrests in, was the motive behind Kading's decision to utilize this leverage. During an interview with the Associated Press on Friday, Kading recollected a confession made by an individual regarding their role in the Tupac Shakur case. The confession included intricate details of how the person and their accomplices committed the murder of Tupac. Although Davis was protected from legal repercussions for the information he shared during his police interview, this did not extend to his communication outside of the interview. Davis proceeded to reveal many of the same details in various forms of media, such as documentaries, podcasts, and his memoir published in 2019. This memoir, which exposed previously unknown information, breathed new life into the ongoing investigation by the Las Vegas police, ultimately contributing to his subsequent indictment by a grand jury. Kading stated that the individual in question has effectively incriminated himself with his own words, leading to his imminent incarceration. From the start of the investigation, Davis had been recognized as one of the 4 possible suspects. Although he was not identified as the shooter, the authorities declared him as the leader of the group during a press briefing and court proceedings. In Nevada, a person can be charged with any crime, including murder, if they assist another individual in carrying out the crime. In his autobiography, Compton Street Legend, Davis, who is currently 60 years old, made the claim that he had supplied the firearm that was utilized in the drive-by shooting. While taking a stroll near his residence on the periphery of Las Vegas, Davis was taken into custody during the early hours of Friday. This occurred only a few hours prior to the announcement by prosecutors that a grand jury in Nevada had indicted the individual self-identifying as a gangster on one charge of murder with the use of a lethal weapon. The accused is expected to appear in court next week. In addition to the murder charge, the grand jury has decided to impose a sentencing enhancement for gang-related activity. If the defendant is found guilty, this enhancement could result in an additional 20 years of imprisonment. On Friday, hundreds of pages of transcripts were made public, offering insight into the grand jury proceedings that took place in the initial month. The proceedings began in July of the past year, commencing with testimony from Davis's former colleagues, friends of Shakur, and a group of retired law enforcement officials who were involved in the investigation from its inception. The jurors were provided with a detailed description of the situation, which portrayed a growing and intense conflict between Death Row Records, Shakur's music label, and Bad Boy Records, which was linked to Davis and acted as Wallace's representation. One of Davis's previous colleagues attested that it was the catalyst for the West Coast, East Coast division that was the defining characteristic of the hip-hop industry during the mid-1990s. Davis has refused an interview request from jail that was made on Friday, and there is no record in court documents of a lawyer who can speak on his behalf. Neither Davis nor his spouse responded to phone or text messages on Friday or in the months following the search of their residence in the nearby city of Henderson on July 17th. On Friday, Sekiwa Set Shakur, the sister of the rapper, issued a statement regarding the arrest. She described it as a triumph, but her tone was measured and composed. Undoubtedly, this is a moment of great significance. As she spoke, she emphasized the impact of the 27 years of silence surrounding this case on their community. She stressed the importance of recognition from the world, country, justice system, and their own people in regards to the weight of this man's passing, her brother, her mother's son, and her father's son. No commendation was given to the authorities who were involved in the case by her. During a news conference held on Friday, Sheriff Kevin McMahill stated that there have been numerous individuals who did not consider the murder of Tupac Shakur to be a priority for the police department. However, he was quick to dispel this notion and clarify that this was not the case then, nor is it the case now. The police department considers every single victim and every life lost to be of utmost importance and remains a top priority, as stated by him. During the evening of September 7, 1996, Tupac Shakur and Marion Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records, were present in Las Vegas to witness a heavyweight title match featuring Mike Tyson. Following the conclusion of the fight, a physical altercation ensued outside between the aforementioned individuals and two other men, Davis and Orlando "Baby Lane" Anderson, the latter of whom Shakur had previously been in conflict with. As the night progressed, Shakur found himself seated in a BMW driven by Knight. It was then that a Cadillac pulled up next to them and gunfire broke out. At only 25 years old, Shakur was fatally shot and suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Tragically, he passed away just 1 week after the attack. In his memoir, Davis recounts being seated in the front passenger seat of the Cadillac. He admits to placing a firearm in the back seat, which is where he claims the shots were fired from. In his statement, he directly accused Anderson, claiming that he was one of the two individuals occupying the rear seat. After a period of 2 years, Anderson passed away. He maintained that he had no role in the demise of Shakur. At the time of the rapper's death, his fourth album, All Eyes on Me, had achieved significant success and continued to chart, boasting sales of approximately 5 million copies. Shakur, who received 6 Grammy Award nominations, is widely regarded as one of the most impactful and multifaceted rappers to have ever graced the genre. To support our channel's growth and ensure broader awareness, kindly hit the like and subscribe buttons. This will help us reach more individuals and disseminate valuable information. Thank you in advance.